A Columbia mom says her son is innocent even though he's in juvenile detention tonight for allegedly making a threat. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jim Reek.
I'm Emily Spain. Columbia police detained the Oakland Middle School student this weekend. KMUA's Justin Kolar has been talking to the 13-year-old's mom, and she says a simple social media post was misunderstood, Justin.
There was no physical threat made within the brick and mortar walls of this school behind me, but students at Oakland Middle School told their parents about a Snapchat sent out by one of their classmates Friday night, which made them nervous. They viewed that post as a threat. This song first came out in 2010 with lyrics like better run, outrun my gun, in reference to a school shooting. The Columbia teen accused of making a threat posted a portion of this song to his Snapchat, according to his mom, and his classmates told their parents. That's when the police got involved. His mom told me it's all a misunderstanding, and that alone shouldn't be taken as a threat to the school. She says the 13-year-old is still in Boone County juvenile detention tonight because of this cover photo investigators found on his Facebook. Another image she says meant no harm. So I asked Columbia Public Schools, what exactly makes a threat credible?
It doesn't matter the way it was made. What matters is that it was perceived by someone as being threatening. And it is important for us to take each one of those incidences seriously.
Baumstark says the middle school students did exactly what they should have done.
If they see something that makes them feel uncomfortable, that makes them feel scared, that makes them feel threatened in any way, shape, or form, we want our students to tell a trusted adult.
The teen's mom told me that her child's charges were reduced to that of a public disturbance. Originally, he faced a terror threat charge, and this all stems from a simple post on Snapchat. Live in Columbia, Justin Kolar, KMU8 News.
In Jefferson City, House Republican leaders announced the start of an investigation into Governor Greitens' indictment at a press conference today. They created a committee to look at the facts, saying the committee's work will be fair, thorough, and timely. It will include 3 Republicans and 2 Democrat House members chosen by House leaders. Also today, calls for Greitens to step down. 2 GOP House members announced a dozen Republicans signed a letter asking the governor to resign. They say the indictment is a huge distraction.
This has been the main story for 5 or 6 weeks now. I've never had a reporter come to my office yet this year to see what we're doing legislatively and to move the state forward.
They said it is an embarrassment to the state and time-consuming. We have been covering the Greitens scandal for weeks now. Here's a little bit of background. On January 10th, KMOV in St. Louis reported Greitens admitted that he had an extramarital affair in 2015. The station also reported accusations of blackmail from the husband of the woman in the affair. An investigation began. Then last Thursday, he was indicted on felony charges of invasion of privacy. Greitens stepped down from the Republican Governors Association Friday.
Defeated U.S. Senate candidate Roy Moore announced he is endorsing Missouri Republican candidate Cortland Sykes. Sykes recently got attention for his Facebook post claiming feminists are, quote, she-devils who want to, quote, suit their own nasty snake-filled heads. Moore called Sykes a man of vision and principle with impeccable character. Moore lost the Alabama Senate race to Democrat Doug Jones in December amid accusations of sexual misconduct. Sykes is seeking to oust Democratic U.S. Senator Claire McCaskill. Right now, a city council just down the road from the Florida school shooting is meeting to call on the governor and president to increase gun control laws, including raising the age to buy firearms to 21. Meantime, President Trump met with governors today amid outcry from students and parents across the country, asking him to take control on gun control. NBC's Blaine Alexander is in Washington with the latest on how the president is planning his next move.
In Florida, a community struggling to recover after the latest school shooting. And in Washington, President Trump with the nation's governors under pressure to stop it from happening again.
Bump stocks, we're writing that out. I'm writing that out.
The president promising to act on guns if Congress won't, and revealing he met over the weekend with NRA leaders.
Don't worry about the NRA. They're on our side. You guys, half of you are so afraid of the NRA. There's nothing to be afraid of. And you know what? If they're not with you, we have to fight them every once in a while. That's okay. They're doing what they think is right.
The NRA rejecting President Trump's idea to raise the legal age for buying guns, but backing his controversial plan to arm teachers, a non-starter for some governors.
I've listened to the first grade teachers that don't want to be pistol packing first grade teachers.
The president slamming the deputy who did not go inside the school to confront the gunman.
If you don't know until you test it, but I think I really believe I'd run in there even if I didn't have a weapon.
Across town, members of Congress returning to work for the first time since the Parkland shooting, but no new bills on the table. The father of one Florida victim pleading with lawmakers to forget the idea of arming teachers.
It will not make our children safer. It would have killed more kids.
Welcome back! Yes!
Today, teachers returning to the school to prepare for a new normal, with classes resuming on Wednesday.
House Speaker Paul Ryan says the Senate is waiting to take action on gun control since the House recently passed a concealed carry bill back in December.
Today alone, a Missouri House committee heard 8 bills that would either tighten or loosen gun control restrictions. The hearing room was packed and testimonies were limited to 3 minutes per person. One of the bills that drew a lot of a discussion was on the transfer of a gun or guns from one individual to another. It would require Missourians to get a background check even if they're buying from a private seller. A supporter said she would be affected by it personally.
You know, the person who shot and killed my dad will be released from jail in a year and a half, and it's extremely upsetting to me to think that this person could purchase a gun in a private sale without a background check.
By suggesting what you're doing is you're limiting individuals who are lawful abiding citizens who are trying to obtain a weapon.
The hearing started at noon and continued until representatives broke for session at 4, and then they reconvened about 6 tonight.
The second trial for a man accused of killing a state trooper started today, this time with a trial out of the area, moved to St. Charles. Sergei Kamerzan is accused of involuntary manslaughter for speeding away from Trooper James Bava, who crashed trying to pull Kamerzan over back in 2015. Bava died after he lost control of his patrol car on FF in Audrain County. Bava was traveling at about 140 miles per hour when he crashed. The prosecution is using data from the car and other witness testimony to argue Kamerzan knew he was being pulled over. The defense is arguing the speed Kamerzan was reportedly traveling and the hills on Route FF make it impossible for anyone who watched to accurately say Kamerzan should have known to stop. A U.S. Marshal was shot this morning in North St. Louis County. Officers were attempting to serve a warrant when the man fired shots at officers as they were getting out of their cars. The suspect was killed in a shootout. The marshal was taken to a hospital for observation but was alert and talking. Authorities said he was wearing a bulletproof vest when he was shot in the chest.
Police seized 240 marijuana plants over the weekend from 2 neighboring homes in Boonville. Officers found the plants along with 30 pounds of processed marijuana. It happened in the 500 block of West Street. Other items found included brownies made with marijuana and equipment used to grow and process the plants. Police arrested Robert Morrison and Deborah Holmes at the house. They've been charged with 5 felonies and 2 misdemeanors. A Boy Scout volunteer is charged and accused of molesting 2 children in his home in St. Louis County. 49-year-old Jonathan Askew was charged with promoting and possessing child pornography and attempted sodomy. Besides volunteering for the Scouts, he was a former Missouri Corrections officer. He resigned from that job in 2014. More trouble for former gymnastics Dr. Larry Nassar. Now the U.S. Department of Education is investigating allegations of sexual abuse. Education Secretary Betsy DeVos announced the investigation will look into systemic issues and reporting procedures involving Nassar's time at Michigan State University. Nassar was recently sentenced to 175 years in prison after hundreds of gymnasts came forward accusing him of child sexual abuse.
Tornadoes and flooding in the South killed at least 5 people this weekend. Tornadoes ripped through Arkansas, Tennessee, and Kentucky. Flooding is still threatening communities in other states, especially along the Ohio River, which hit its highest level in 20 years. Back here in mid-Missouri, we actually had a very nice and sunny day outside. Let's check in with Kenton to see just how long this nice weather is going to stick around. Hey, Kenton.
Hey, Emily, thank you very much, and good evening, everyone. Temperatures today, very warm, 62 degrees for our high.
How one hospital is using advanced technology to bring doctors to patients instantly.
Plus, the Supreme Court's decision on the Trump administration's DACA appeal.